is State Representative Jeffrey Elmore with your weekly session update for March 16th, the day before St. Patrick's Day. Always a busy week at the General Assembly and a lot's going on. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about the budget process and the governor's budget that was presented this morning. I just came out of the meeting. Talk to you about one of the bills that I filed and has moved over to the Senate. Talk to you about some bills that have went to the governor. And also some bills that passed the House that we've sent over to the Senate that I believe will affect you guys. And little congrats to North Wilkesboro at the end. But first, with the budget process, I just left a meeting where the state budget director, Kristen Walker, presented Governor Cooper's vision for the budget. That is part of the process. The first step is the governor presenting their budget. It works that way at the federal level too. The first step of the budgeting process annually in Washington, D.C. is the president presents their version of the budget. A lot of priorities in the governor's budget. Some are different than the priorities of the General Assembly, but it's the first step of the process. Our part of the process, we've been working through subcommittees, and they've been presenting to the full appropriations chairs, and we've been reviewing the information. We have 2 more subcommittees to go through, and that's the first round of that. We will do a second round of that next week. Speaker Moore publicly announced that our goal is to have the House budget presented and voted out of our chamber prior to the Easter recess. So we are on a very fast timeline, but I think that we are going to be able to meet that goal. Some things that happened this week. First, House Bill 207 passed the floor yesterday, 113-0. This is my bill, and it deals with mandatory training for continuing education credits. Currently, what's happening in our schools, there are tons of federal and state required trainings that teachers must go through annually, semi-annually, sometimes biannually. And the list ranges from everything from slips and falls, from OSHA to bloodborne pathogens, to diabetic training with students, to even CPR. There's tons of trainings that are required, and currently those type trainings do not count towards continuing education credits for the teachers to renew their license. What this would do is require those to count. This will be very good for the teachers because we have to spend the time doing these trainings online, and sometimes they can occupy hours upon hours of our time, many times after school, to be able to accomplish the trainings. It also eliminates a requirement with our continuing education credits of digital literacy. Some of those credits have to be digital related. Well, since COVID and our workforce becoming so much younger, a lot of these skill sets are just automatic. And they are common. So really specific trainings on how to use Excel, for example, or how to do basic computer skills are just not relevant at this point. So that passed over to the Senate. We'll try to move it through on that side also. Some other bills that went to the Senate out of the House was House Bill 130. This is preserving choices for consumers. And what this bill deals with, it basically bans a local municipality or a local entity from preventing a consumer from energy choices. This is some things where this has been occurring is in California. And what local cities have been doing there is they have been banning things like gas stoves, gas inputs into houses, even though the consumer wants that gas line taken into their house. They are basically saying, as the city of San Francisco, for example, I'm not sure if they have it, but they do not allow gas. What this would do is prevent that from happening in North Carolina. It would preserve a right of choice for the consumer, that if they want to pull gas to their house, they can. If they want to use electric appliances, they can. So it is a protection type bill. This passed last session and was vetoed by the governor. So we are moving the bill through again, and this bill will go to the Senate in the next step. Another bill that was filed by Representative Bradford out of Northern Mecklenburg and passed the House 109-4 was House Bill 150, School Contracted Health Services. This deals with continuity of care with severely disabled children. And an issue came up where a child in Mecklenburg County was very disabled and had to have the services of a one-on-one nurse. And the family, in communicating with the school system, said that they would like for this child's personal nurse to go to school with them, and there was some conflict there. This clarifies that to where those kind of situations can be resolved and that the parent can utilize the nursing services that they have currently in place in the school environment also. We also passed House Bill 258. This is an opioid control act. We continually have to put certain opioids on our controlled substance list because they keep creating various derivatives. Those lists are very important because according to the level that they get placed, it dictates how much control there is of the substance. And we're very careful with the opioids to make sure that they stay in a certain level to where they go through the procedures of checks at the pharmacy to where we're not unleashing more opioids out into the public and that they're staying targeted for the people that actually need them for their pain management. We also passed a Senate Bill 41, and this has been enrolled, so this has gone from the House, Senate to the House, and I do not believe we made any changes, so the next step is this one will be going to the governor, but as of today it has just been enrolled, so I think tomorrow is when that process will happen. This is called Guarantee Second Amendment Freedom and Protections. Several of the gun bills that I've been talking about prior, what this bill does is just take them and put them all in one. Clarifies religious property and the ability to carry concealed weapons on that property. It eliminates the pistol purchase permit. And it also creates a statewide firearms safe storage awareness initiative in the bill. So the next step for that bill will be it'll move, since it's been through the Senate and the House, it will next move to the governor. Another bill that is already moved to the governor is House Bill 40, Tougher Penalties for Rioting. This was Speaker Moore's bill, and it is now sitting on the governor's desk. And what this will do is impose tougher criminal penalties for rioting. And the goal is to deter people from destroying property during these riots. And we saw that a couple of years ago. The governor has vetoed this bill before, so we're going to see what action he will take on this bill and is currently on his desk. I want to do a little shout out to the town of North Wilkesboro. I got an email notification that T-Mobile, the town of North Wilkesboro is T-Mobile's hometown grant winner. And the town of North Wilkesboro will be receiving $50,000. And they're going to be using this $50,000 to do improvements to the downtown Yadkin Valley, the downtown farmers market space. That is there off of the CBD loop. There have been dramatic improvements to that area. That's stuff that I worked on when I was on the town commission, and now they're going to be doing some improvements, and from what I understand, it will be park benches, some trees, some canopies to make the outdoor concert space and our farmers market space more attractive. So very exciting for the town of North Wilkesboro. Congratulations.